Today I'm going to be taking a look at Neutonic, a productivity drink come nootropic that is the brainchild of popular influencers and YouTubers Chris Williamson and James Smith. I've tested it for a few days, as you can see by this half-opened pack, and today I'm going to be putting it to the full test. We're going to take a look at the ingredients, we're going to look at the dosages, and we're going to try and make a decision on whether Neutonic should be your new daily nootropic of choice. Let's kick off this Neutonic review with a taste test. So I've got the wild citrus flavour here. There are actually 3 flavours available. I bought this from Amazon, but you can go direct to the website. It's a little bit cheaper with the website, but you do have to pay for shipping unless you place a 3-crate order. It was $29.99 for a crate of 12 on Amazon, which is, I suppose, a little bit on the pricey side. You can get it a little bit cheaper on their own website, like I said. So this is the wild citrus flavour. The other flavours available are orange sunrise and tropical ice, which pretty much describe themselves, I guess. But this wild citrus flavour, I've had it already, as I've said. It is very, very nice. Yeah, really refreshing drink actually, and we're going to get on to the ingredients in a little while. But if you compare it to your standard kind of energy drink, which I'm really not going to be comparing it too much to other energy drinks today in this review, but if you do compare it to that type of drink, it's actually very, very pleasant to drink. Very refreshing, like I say. So let's kick things off by looking at the ingredients. The first thing to say is, and this is where the comparison to an energy drink like Prime or Monster or something like that kind of comes in, is the fact that one of the key core ingredients of this is caffeine. So again, you could kind of liken it a little bit to a pre-workout, almost like a crossover between an energy drink, a pre-workout and a nootropic. But the reason why they pitch this as a productivity drink is because of those nootropic ingredients that we see. Now, there are 4 other main nootropics if we look aside from caffeine. So caffeine, you get 120 milligrams per can. That's a relatively high dose, particularly when you compare it to nootropics. You also get cognizin, and we're going to talk about these ingredients in a little bit more detail, but there's 500 milligrams of that, rhodiola rosea, panax ginseng, and L-theanine, and we then get a really complete B vitamin complex. So on the face of it, we see nootropic ingredients that we're familiar with there. It tastes great. It's very, very well branded. I really like the kind of design. The can, it feels very, very premium. It's almost got a textured feel to the can itself. And this drink is brought to us by social media influencers James Smith and Chris Williamson. I'm not that familiar with Chris Williamson. I've followed James Smith for about 3 years now on social media, followed him on Instagram mainly, and he's very, very much known for his no BS take on the fitness industry. He's never really promoted anything to my knowledge other than his own products, his own digital products and services, and now Neutonic. So maybe that speaks for something. Now this morning, prior to drinking this, I did take a brain focus test. I actually saw this on another YouTube channel, Pete on Purpose. I'll link them down in the description below. And I loved the way he did the brain focus test. So I've taken the same test. I didn't score particularly well. I think it was about 57%. I'll show the stats up on screen. And we're going to see in about half an hour, we're going to do the test again and see whether having drunk this, it makes a difference. So before we come to that focus test, let's just look at this in a little bit more detail and give you my experience of using it so far. So I've had 3 days worth. When I say days worth, I would have 1 per day. I certainly wouldn't recommend having more than 1 of these drinks per day. And let's talk a little bit about how convenient it actually is. This is going to very much depend on you and your preference. In some ways, this is very convenient because you can just throw the bottle in a bag, throw the can in a bag, and you can drink it on the go whenever is convenient for you. Personally, I quite like taking things in capsule form because I can take it first thing in the morning, along with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, along with breakfast, and I know that I've got it and I know those ingredients are going to start to kick in. The other thing is the caffeine amount is quite high at 120 milligrams. Now, there's nothing dangerous particularly here unless you're really caffeine sensitive. And actually the L-theanine in particular is going to help balance out the impact of that caffeine. And actually I'm just starting to get those initial feelings of that caffeine kicking in. I can almost feel it. I'm quite caffeine sensitive. I'm okay with caffeine, but I do, particularly if I take something like a pre-workout that's quite high in caffeine, anywhere from kind of 100, 200 milligrams of caffeine, I will get the jitters, I will get the prickles and feel it. Now, I'm not getting kind of jitters or prickles, but I can feel that starting to take effect. Now, hopefully that L-theanine does balance it out. My experience of having this the last couple of days is that I've not had any kind of adverse reaction to it or anything like that. But like I say, going back to the caffeine, that is something that might put some people off. It's also, for sure, something that's going to stop you from taking this later in the day, or at least it should be, because then it's going to impact on sleep, which is going to have the complete opposite effect of what you're trying to achieve with this in the first place. So as long as you're okay with the caffeine, as long as you're not going to drink this too late in the day, then it probably is going to work quite well for you. It's also going to be pretty convenient, unless you've got to kind of consume it really, really fast, in which case it's a nice drink, but it's not something that you're going to want to absolutely down. So moving on to the other ingredients, cognizin. So this is where we're bringing in citicoline. Now, citicoline is well regarded, well known, well researched as a very effective nootropic. It's going to really help in terms of focus, in terms of sharpness, in terms of clarity, mental clarity. You get 500 milligrams of that here, which is actually a very, very good dose. It's more on the high side than the low side, that's for sure, particularly if we compare it to other nootropics, which we'll do in a second. Rhodiola rosea, another great nootropic ingredient that I like to see, 400 milligrams, Panax ginseng, 200 milligrams, and then those 400 milligrams of L-theanine, which again is on the high side. One thing not many people talk about is the B vitamin complex. It's really, really good. It's a really good complex here. You get B1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 12. It's about as comprehensive as you can get when it comes to the B vitamins, and actually they're going to have again a very, very positive impact on you from a cognitive point of view. That's as far as we go in terms of nootropics. Now, in terms of a nootropic that you're going to be taking daily for a long period of time, and we're talking 6, 12 months plus, and looking for other benefits, things such as memory, long-term brain health, then I would like to see a little bit more going on here. Think about things like Bacopa monnieri, for example. That's an ingredient that I would like to see within here. But that's not really what Neutonic is focusing on. Neutonic is very much focusing on people that want that quick fix, that quick focus, and that's why it's going so heavy on the caffeine side of things. Now, away from the nootropic type ingredients, of course, to get this to taste nice, we've got some flavorings in there. We've got there's no sugar to speak of, so it's a very low calorie drink. There's only 6.6 calories per can, so pretty much nothing there. But it does also have sweeteners. So it's got natural flavorings. It's got citric acid. And it has got those preservatives and sweeteners in the form of sucralose. Is that something that's going to put me off? Possibly. I mean, it's not going to be any worse than a Diet Coke, but again, it's just something you might want to consider. Is it something you want to consume on a daily basis? I think for me personally, this is something that I'm happy to have, I'm happy to use. I do love the ingredients, but it's not something I'm going to use as a long-term nootropic supplement. And really, that's not what it's trying to be. Would I prefer you to drink this to a can of Prime or a can of Monster or something like this? Yes, for sure, 100%. This is going to give you a much more balanced energy. It is going to help in terms of focus and probably concentration. And actually, we'll go and see the results in a second. But I'm already starting to feel this. I almost feel like I've started to speak a bit faster as well. And that's not necessarily a good thing. So yeah, you make your judgments based on how I started this video and how I am now, but I'm still only half a can in. So cheers. Okay, that is all gone. So we're now going to do the second focus test. Now, I did notice on Pete on Purpose's video that some people commented on the fact that there'd be a natural bias towards doing better in the second test than the first because you're aware of what the test is. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do this test now, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the exact same thing again. I'm going to do a test with no nootropic, with no Neutonic in me, and then I'm going to do a second one. So we're going to look at all those results and we'll conclude this video tomorrow, but for you it'll be in about 20 seconds. Wow. Okay, that's a pretty significant increase. So I scored 57th percentile this morning, and now I've scored 68th percentile. So that's pretty impressive, an 11-point increase. So it'll be interesting tomorrow, do the tests again and see whether it's just because I'd done the test before and we had that natural increase or not. But it's going to be interesting to see. On an anecdotal note, I feel pretty focused. I feel very, I'm not kind of jittery or tingly, but I can feel that caffeine in me. Some of those other ingredients, it's hard to tell whether you can feel them, but I think the L-theanine is definitely balancing things out, because if that wasn't in there, I know for a fact I would be getting pretty jittery, tingly in the arms and the legs and the face now. And I don't feel that, but I do feel ready to go. So I'm going to crack on with my day. Right, we're here. It's day 2. So yesterday was a pretty good day for me, very productive, worked a lot, did have decent focus and sustained energy through the afternoon. It did then drop off a little bit towards the end of the afternoon, which is totally normal for me. Again, what I'm seeing so far with Neutonic is kind of quick impact. Yes, the energy, yes, some focus, but then starting to drop off a little bit. However, we did see that increase in the test yesterday, in the focus test. So we're going to do the focus test again now. It's very early in the morning, well, not very early, it's 9 a.m. So it's a little bit earlier than I did it yesterday, about half an hour earlier than yesterday. And then I'm going to take this drink, and then about an hour later, I'm going to do the second test. Let's see if we get similar results to yesterday. Right, it's just approaching 10 past 10, so we're going to do the second test on the second day. So 54th percentile is what we're trying to beat. I'm actually feeling a lot more focused and a lot more energetic right now compared to where I was an hour ago. The fuzzy head, it's gone completely. I would expect that based on the ingredients that are in Neutonic. That's not necessarily saying it's a fantastic nootropic. It's just we'd expect that from the caffeine and some of those other ingredients. So anyway, we're going to do this second test and see how we get on. Wow. Okay, that's a pretty impressive increase. That time we hit the 69th percentile. So based on this test, we've done it twice. We've done it 4 times in total, twice each day. Once before the Neutonic, and then once after. That is a huge increase. That's an even bigger increase than we saw yesterday. And more importantly than that, I actually feel really focused right now. I actually feel really in the zone. Now, does that make Neutonic my daily nootropic of choice? It probably doesn't, if I'm being perfectly honest. I did enjoy the kind of the focus, the energy, particularly on a day like today, where I wasn't feeling 100% when I woke up, when I got into the office. On a day like today, I'm probably going to be taking something like that. Caged Mindset is another great example of a nootropic that works in very much the same way. It's pretty high in caffeine, but it doesn't feel kind of jittery or anything like that. It actually feels, I always use this term calm focus, and this is calm focus, but a little bit more. It really does kind of give me almost a calm energy. I feel like I can probably sit here for a good 1-2 hours now and really plow through a load of work. And actually, I'm pretty stacked up today. I'm about to go on a call with my editor. I've then got some script writing to do. Yeah, quite a busy day. Fair bit of recording to do today also. So yeah, on a long term, because of the ingredients that are in here, I'm probably not going to use this as a long-term nootropic. There's other nootropics that I do prefer that I think give me that more of a kind of balanced impact throughout the day, whereas this is going to, certainly in my experience over the last few days of drinking it, it works for a good 3 to 4 hours, and then you start to see the effects and the impact kind of wear off. If you're the sort of person that wakes up with good energy in the morning and then you kind of hit in that afternoon lull, taking this probably kind of lunchtime or just after lunch is probably going to work quite well for you. If you're the sort of person that doesn't perform well in the morning and you need that morning coffee, taking this instead of your morning coffee is probably going to be a really good bet, and that's exactly what I did today. So I had a cup of tea when I first woke up, had breakfast, went out, got some fresh air, still didn't feel 100%, took this, and then I actually feel really focused, really great. But like I say, long term, probably not for me, but as something to have to hand when I need to go for a workout, or and I need that extra push, or I need to sit and really know that I'm going to have that focus, then yeah, I think Neutonic is a really good option for that. Love the ingredient complex. In terms of things I don't like, the sweeteners, you always get that little kind of bit of an aftertaste. Actually, the taste of Neutonic, this flavour in particular, the wild citrus, I absolutely love it. It's really nice. But like a lot of drinks of this type of nature, you do kind of get that little feeling in your mouth that you know that it's not 100% clean. But no, I really like it. I love the branding. I think they've done a great job. If you're going to have an energy drink or some kind of productivity drink, I'd sooner you take this than Prime or Monster or any of those other energy drinks. So yeah, it's a tick from me. It's probably not a long-term nootropic, but as a pick-me-up, as something to get you through the day, then I'd definitely recommend it. And if you do want a nootropic that you can take every day that has topped our list, check out this video here where I actually go through our top nootropics. We've got our top 5. Neutonic doesn't make it in that list, but we've got 5 really good options in there for you. Thanks very much for watching, guys. See you next time.